Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream Park West, the Fall Turf Festival. Ron Nicoletti, Pete Aiello. It is Sunday. We got a 10-race card. 12:35 p.m. our first post, and we're going to call Sunday today carryover day because we have three really nice carryovers this afternoon. The first carryover comes in the Rainbow Six this afternoon, and there you see it, $15,000 plus. The late pick 5 this afternoon, getting up there, $20,000 in that pool, $21,000 in that pool. When there's a carryover like that, Pete, they really bet it. And we also have a carryover today in the Super High 5, which will start in race number 1, and $4,600 plus in that pool.
Yeah, and degree of difficulty yesterday, we talked about it.
Right.
It proved out to be that way. There were long shots galore. I don't know that you get any easier here today. We have some horses drawing in off the also eligible list that draw a little bit of an intrigue into the race. We also have some horses that are coming in from out of town. You'll talk about a horse later on from New York that may be a key in your late pick 5 and Rainbow Six sequence.
Yeah, and if you listened to the show yesterday, Pete had one of those long shot winners in the race. He said it has to be a first-time starter. Paid $43. Did not use it. Knocked me out of my Rainbow Six ticket.
Unfortunately, by that time, I was good old-fashioned tapioca, so I didn't get to take advantage of it.
Well, we got a fast-made track firm turf course. Before we look at the Sunday card, a couple of tweets out there. And Go Zapper from Adena Springs, of course, owned by the one and only our boss, Mr. Frank Stronach. Go Zapper now 4th straight year with 14 stakes winners. A good sire.
And, of course, one of those victories you see on the Gulfstream Park replay show, available on YouTube each and every afternoon, is the Shaman Ghost winning the Queen's Plate at Woodbine this year, also by Go Sapper.
And another one I want to talk about is Uncle Mo. We had Uncle Mo has been having a great year. You see, he had his 23rd first crop winner yesterday right here with Little Mo, who closed out by the popcorn stand yesterday.
Boy, that was a weird race. Little Mo was he was under a drive about the 5/16. He was behind horses turning for home. Looked like he was going nowhere and thrilled to death about it, and then tipped to the outside and was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to go faster now.
Right.
So definitely bigger and better things to come for Little Mo. He ran very well in his debut.
Yeah, he was out there wide. It's easy for you to see from your position up there.
Especially here. It's a lot easier for me to spot a wide sweeping move here than it is across town at Gulfstream Park. So both Black Martino and Little Mo, I got to maybe make myself look better because I said they were flying, and if you looked on the video, they had not yet flown, as it were, but they both came flying on the outside and one going away.
Well, let's go to race number 1, 6 furlongs on Sunday here. We mentioned we got a fast and firm conditions. This is a maiden claimer, 2-year-olds, $35,000, clean slate, 8 runners in the field. Pete, you want to go back and show them performance of El Señor de los Cielos.
Yeah, great name for a track announcer. El Señor de los Cielos, going out for trainer Antonio Sano. This horse has run very, very well in each of his 2 races. He debuted for the $16,000 price tag against the Suspect Cast, which was a race won by Carapano. He actually split horses that day, had a bit of a rough outing, and ended up running second, only to be disqualified and placed 4th. Then last time out, he's chasing a 35-1 bomber in Flip Shot. That's him up the inside lane in the blue blinkers. Mind you, folks, he's stepping up from 16 to 50 on this particular occasion. That's why he was accorded a 22-1 win possibility. He outran his odds and lost to a fellow long shot in Flip Shot. He was a first-time starter for Joe Calshabetta. So all you have to know is if El Señor de los Cielos continues to race the way he's been racing, $35,000 should hit him right between the eyes today.
I did go with the 3-horse in here, and that's Graphite Strikers, dropping to the level we're talking about, $35,000 level, turning back to 3/4 of a mile after tracking pretty swift early fractions last time out, about 21-4 and 45-1 before weakening to finish 5th against maiden special weight competition that was going 7/8 of a mile. Steve DeMauro, Edgar Zayas are going to team up with this horse. I just thought off that performance, Pete, I was going to use this one on the ticket. You did not use it. You went with the horse having 3rd on top of your ticket, what we just talked about is the number 1, and you also used the horse next to it, and that's Zachary's Pitch.
Yeah, I'm a big Eddie Broom fan. Eddie's been debunking the Pete Aiello cardinal rule of handicapping, which is don't bet horses first time from New Jersey. The guy that's shed that rumor so far this year has been Eddie Broom. His horses have run very well. Brianna's Bucket losing a heartbreaker just the other day, and then, of course, Brandy's Girl aired against stakes competition. So it goes out for a good shed row. This horse is working well for the debut run, and Paco sees fit to ride. We'll see how it plays out in terms of tactics with this horse, but being by Wildcat Air, out of a Chimes Band mare, I would expect speed would be the weapon of choice here.
Number 5, Uccello Bello. This one is turning back to a sprint distance. This one got away with some tepid fractions last time of 21 flat, 50, 25 and 50 flat. Got beat a neck against similar going a mile. Marcus Vitale, solid with the turnback move. He's about 20%. This horse didn't get a big speed figure if you're a buyer aficionado. Not a bad race. I don't know what to make about the slow fractions, Pete.
Yeah, I don't like the horse on the turnback. The turnback has never been one of my favorite angles. It's just personal preference. But Uccello Bello was extra game. He battled all the way to the wire that afternoon. If this race was going long, I probably would have picked him on top. Although I think the only reason that Ronnie picked him on top is because he loves to say those Italian names.
Yeah, exactly. And you went with Master Deacon, which is not an Italian name, in third.
Yes, but we do have a Spanish rider in the form of Antonio Gallardo for trainer Kathleen O'Connell. This horse is a horse that just debuts for a good win early barn. The works are nothing special, but the combination alone leads me to give this horse a bit of an opportunity.
Well, let's go to race number 2, Pete. This one, 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf. Claimers 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. $16,000. Scratch the 6, the 7. The main track only number 11. And the jockey on the 12 is Luca Panici. And this is one of the races where you got to sort of pay attention to the also eligibles. Get in, make sure you give them a second look. We were talking to Black Martino yesterday. Absolutely belonged in that race after getting in off the also eligible list and paid $13.80.
Yeah, Ronnie can do a little red boarding on that. He warned everybody who was listening, whether you were watching this program or the pre-race program, please take note, Black Martino is in. Please take note, Black Martino is in. He was 5-2 on the morning line drawing in and paid $13.
Yep, I went with the number 8 horse in here, Pete Van Holiday, stepping up. He's stretching out today to a mile in the 16th after a couple, I thought, really solid turf outings at a mile, which included that recent 12-5 maiden victory here last time out. Joe Russo keeps him in good form. He's got a recent 5-furlong bullet drill across town at Gulfstream Park. He's a maiden stepping up to the next level. I don't see anybody else that I liked as much as him making that next step up.
I agree with that. I think that the picks on your TV monitors don't tell the story here, at least not for me. Ronnie and I agree with the top 3 contenders, but please don't go 3 deep in here. This is a tough race.
Yeah, number 4, J.C. Monba, I think he's got a reason to improve today.
He does have a reason to improve, but I'm going to be honest. The reason I picked him is only because of the rider. Jockey Fergal Lynch hasn't been seen hardly at all in the last 12 months, and he's actually had somewhat of a checkered past, but he's a very, very good rider. And the fact that Fergal Lynch, I circled it right in my racing form, I wrote, is this for real? And the fact that it is for real, we already got the rider changes. He is here, and he is riding for trainer Chuck Simon. The guy is good. He's had a lot of success overseas.
Number 1, Derby Day Kitten is going back to his best surface today. He followed his maiden score on the Kentucky Downs turf with a last place showing against $30,000 2 lifetime claimers. That was going a mile in the 16th. It was on the Keeneland main track. Logical level here, going back to the turf. Connections are real good. The trainer Mike Maker looks like a logical contender in this race.
It's interesting, though. He had a workout in Florence, Kentucky at Turfway just 12 days ago, so he would be falling under my category of running off the van. Nevertheless, he does look on form like he belongs against these.
Now, when they come from Kentucky to South Florida, what's your angle there?
Well, I don't like anybody first start off the van. If they've been here for a couple of months and they've acclimated themselves to the humidity, I mean, we can go back and, of course, play Monday morning quarterback. Reporting Star was heavily favored coming out of Grade 1 races, but it was coming from Toronto to South Florida, and he didn't bring his A game. A lot of times it takes a race over the weather, not even more than the surface. The weather is always a key consideration. Humidity in South Florida is definitely the great equalizer.
Yeah, you have 2 people that wears ties. I can tell you that each and every day. Third race, 1 mile, claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. Scratch the number 5 horse in here. Popcorn Kitten. I went to the inside. We have our exacta flip-flop. Bishop's Sleeves is dropping to this level today after finishing 4th here against $16,000 claimers, going a mile and 7 furlongs respectively. Martin Paramo is the trainer. Esmiel Jaramillo handling that inside post this afternoon.
I like the rider switch to Jaramillo here on number 1, Bishop Sleeves. The problem I have with him, at least to use him on top, mind you, he will be part of my multi-leg use wagers, but Bishop Sleeves just just dropped so far back, and I don't see a whole lot of speed in here. Drimmer's a horse that's been really changed his tactics. He used to be a have to have the lead. If I don't have the lead, I have no chance horse. Now they've taught him to come from behind, but I'm happy to say that I think he has enough tactical speed to get closer than Bishop Sleeves in the early stages. So for me, of the closers, the 1 and 2, the 2 will be in front of the 1. I'll try to get him to hold him off.
Well, a 10-1 shot in here. I threw in third, number 4, and that's Super Zapper as a candidate, I believe, for a rebound performance. He followed his 7-furlong maiden victory on the Gulfstream bank track, comes back, runs 5th, going a mile on the turf. Ramon Morales, apprentice John Cruz atop the son of Ghost Zapper. We mentioned Ghost Zapper a little earlier today, and I just think this is a logical spot for this horse.
It does make a lot of sense where he's placed here today, and he is, as we all like to say, the house horse, as he still carries the colors of Mr. Frank Stronach in the Adina Springs.
Who else you got in here, Pete?
The 3-horse, Whiskey Ding. I think he definitely wants to do this. He wants to run long over the main track. He hasn't been doing that lately. I'm looking for him to rebound here today.
Let's go to race number 4 this afternoon. 1 mile on the turf. Claimers 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life. $8,000. Scratch the 6, the 12, and the 13, 11, and 14. Look like they'll get in and run today. Pete will update you on all the scratches and changes you need. And one other note in here. Please note that the number 3 horse, there was a typo on it. The morning line should read 20-1, not 2-1. And the probable favorites on the bottom, 4, 10, 8, and 6. You see it up there. The odds are 20-1. It was a typo, 2, left the 0 out in there. Pete, I went with the number 10 in here. Let's wrap it up. And this one is dropping a notch on the claiming scale. After rallying to finish third, it was against $10,000 2 lifetime claimers. Sort of a lateral move in here, going a mile. It was on the Meadowlands turf. Phil Serpy, Paco Lopez, atop this son of Leroy Asalamu.
Well, the Meadowlands turf course is played a lot like the Gulfstream Park West turf course in the sense that you haven't been able to come from way, way, way back, but by the same token, you couldn't win on the lead up that way either. So let's wrap it up. Figures-wise, makes sense. George Navarro's been winning races in bunches. To me, looks like the best of a field because of the horses that have run in South Florida, I'm not getting overly enthused about any of them with the scratch of Bo's Bullet.
Well, number 8, Empire Row, was game and defeat. I thought when he lacked room at the 8 pole last time and he rallied between horses, he finished 4th. He was beaten just a little under 2 lengths against $10,000 2 lifetime runners. It was across town at Gulfstream Park on the turf course. Joe Cantonese, Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle again. Was not a bad performance. Had a bit of an excuse in there. Logical choice. You mentioned Bo's Bullet. We both had that one on our ticket. I added the number 2, Sumbio, who exits a key race at the Meadowlands, a race that produced a couple of next out winners. What I thought this horse might be able to do is just carve out a nice stalking trip in there. Maybe not win it, but can certainly be on the Rolling Super High 5 ticket, trained by Kathy Mongeon and ridden today by apprentice Vincente Guidel.
Well, the horse that came back to make that a key race was a horse named Treefire. That's who Let's Wrap It Up lost to next time out as well. So it's somewhat of a lateral move there. The other horse I used to complete your exotics is the 5 Expected Meeting. He'll be a big price. He's a tough horse to ride. If you can get the run time correctly, he could get a part of this, and he'll be a big price.
We mentioned the Rainbow Six. It's going to start in race number 5 this afternoon with that carryover of $15,000 plus. And this 5th race, 6 furlongs. Maiden claim is 2-year-olds, $12,500. Scratch the number 6, Cugino Michael in here. I went with the number 8, Kimchi Strike. Dropping to this 12-5 level after responding last time out to the addition of Lasix with a much improved 4th place finish against $16,000 maidens at the distance. The trainer is George Handy. He's got Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle, and all things being equal, and they certainly are in this race, I thought this horse had a pretty good shot in there. I don't know what he is on the morning line, but I had him on his second choice.
He's 4-1 on the morning line. I think that's probably about what you'll get. He exits a race that I was not a fan of, and of course that never worked out for me because the horse who was 3rd in that race, Donation, came back to win going long on the grass just a couple days ago. That's not italicized in your racing form. However, it should be, as Donation was a winner just a couple days ago.
Yeah, and he won rather impressively. But you did go with the number 2 on top of your ticket, and that's Wayward Road.
Yeah, well, this is the same type of race as I liked yesterday with the $40 winner. I don't like the horses that have raced, so if they've raced, they're not for me. The 2 Wayward Road debuts for the acclaimed racing stable and trainer Alfred McIntosh. He's not working quick, but that doesn't mean he won't be good enough to get the job done here. Antonio Gallardo sees fit to ride, so they got a live rider to ride this first-time starter. The other first-time starter is the 440 Books. goes out for Dan Pita. Same story there. Zayas sees fit to take the call. I'll take the fresh faces here.
Well, the morning line favorite in the race, who I have in second, Think He's Gone, was beaten only a neck when responding to both a drop in competition and a sealed slappy track by coming within a neck of exiting maiden ranks at this level and distance. That was on a sealed sloppy track. We're dealing with a fast track today. That's why I went with the 8 on top, the 9, the 4, 40 books for all the reasons you mentioned. And it's a wide open affair right there to start the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, it is. And if the 9-horse wins, I'm out already.
Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon. This one is 1 mile on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500. Scratch the 11, 13, 14, no, 11, 14 and 15 right now. And once again, I'll mention that Pete will be update you on all the changes you need. This is where the late pick 5 starts off with over $20,000 in that pool. And here, Pete, we both have the same horse on top, and that is the 5 Truckee Warrior, and that's from that what's that show, Game of Thrones?
I wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
I know that their fans of Game of Thrones are very intense about the show. I've never enjoyed it.
I thought it was
I've
Game
never
of
actually,
Thrones. No, it's Thrones.
Thrones.
Okay.
I've actually never seen the show, but that's neither here nor there. Dothraki Warrior ran last time out behind a horse who's in earlier today in Kir Royale. Kir Royale was expected to win. Dothraki Warrior was expected to be second. So when you consider the effort, you can consider that he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He tried to get a break for home at the top of the stretch, but Kir Royale's stretch kick was just too much. It was his first start since coming down from New Jersey. It's his second start over this course. I think that he is the horse to beat in here, but the way the sequence shapes up, Ronnie, I know you have a single in race number 8 today.
Right.
I have a single in race 7, so I think you can spread here. There is a variety of options in this race.
Well, one of the horses I used that you did not use, Pete, is Major Anthem. Is a major player when dropping to this level today after getting carried 5 wide and getting beat only a neck when finishing third right here against $20,000 maidens. That was going 1 mile and 1/16.
Yeah, he's a horse that has a big chance. He's 7 for 15 in the top 2, but that's the good news and the bad news all at the same time. He's not been a horse that's been reliable to get up to win it, but he's got another chance here today, and he certainly looks like he's got form. Another horse that interests me was the 7 Blogosphere. He was expected to run well last time. He was actually one of the favorites going into the gate. Boy, did he not run at all. He went way too fast. That's the only thing about it. He did too much too soon and was resuming off a layoff, so I can excuse that effort. I figure that Blogosphere will be on the engine here. The question is, how fast will Majestic Kingdom make him go? Again, it was like yesterday with our Tempest and Dreaming of Clarice. If they do too much too soon, no matter how much money they take, they're always sitting ducks.
Well, what about Carmelo, who's sorting up to a mile after surrendering? I thought would look like an insurmountable 5-length lead when finishing third behind Major Anthem, going a mile and 8. That was on October 14th. Turning back to a mile today, was cruising on that 5-length lead.
Yeah, and you know that race from a flow standpoint, and we've talked about it at length on social media with Umberto, who came back to win. They fell apart. I mean, Caramello did. You know, he tried to take it to him. It was a mile and an eighth. None of them really wanted to go a mile and an eighth. But the problem that I have with Caramello, that's not the first time he's done that. Loomed boldly and then flattened out really bad. He did that against Takrishi 2 starts ago. I mean, this horse turning for home, he's actually in front and finishes third, beaten 7 lengths. So he has not shown a propensity to seal the deal. He is got some form to him, which means that he's a horse I will try to beat.
Yeah, but I mean, you can have him somewhere on your super high 5.
Oh yeah, for sure,
like that.
for sure.
You know, I mean, yeah.
He'll hit the ticket, but
Right.
again, we're talking pick 5,
Right.
not on my play.
Right. Let's go to race number 7 today. 1 mile claiming, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. Scratch one of the speeds in here, or maybe the major speed, number 5, Be a Wildcat. And let's hear about your best bet right now.
Well, you already set it up pretty nicely for me. There were 2 speeds signed on in here. I figured Be a Wildcat would be intent on the lead. He has not taken prisoners when he wanted the lead. Well, that was all right because I figured, okay, that's all right. Jeffrey Sanchez will take Capital City and hand a race second. Well, now I don't have to worry about that. Now Capital City will be on the offensive. The only reason Capital City will lose this race is the 2-turn circumference. He can go a mile. It's just a matter of whether the 2 turns will suit him. I like the trainer connections here, Sandino Hernandez and Amity Racing. They took this horse. It paid dividends first start off the claim. He's a tactical play here, and he is my best bet on the program. He has good form, and he has the right tactical setup.
You mentioned that barn there, over 20% with horses winning back-to-back races, so their horses seem to hold form for a couple of races in a row. Horse that Pete has on his ticket, I have on top, and that's Thunder Run. Turning back to a mile after gaining late to finish second, beating a half length when facing similar. That was at a mile 70. The race used to be stocked with horses that needed the lead to run their best. The gelded son of Colonel John Run, ridden by Tyler Gaffalione, still get enough pace to maybe help him out today. Scratch of be a Wildcat is like turn things around a little bit.
Ron Nicoletti, Esquire, because he's certainly spinning you a story about getting enough pace to run at. I don't think there's any way that their pace develops quickly enough. I mean, just look at the split times. Look at the split times for the last couple times. Sub 48, sub 48, sub 45, 46. Granted, that was sprinting. And then 46 4-back. He's had pace to chase, and which is why he's been able to close into it. I think we get 49 and change, maybe even 50 if Sanchez can lull him on the front end. That means Thunder Run's going to be up against it here today.
Well, I'm going 3 deep in here. We have the same 3. I'm not as enamored with the number 4 horse as you are in here today. The other one being 2 Storm Warnings, turning back to a mile. Got a little knocked around between horses last time out. Still managed to finish second. Likes this track. By the way, that was at a mile and a 16. 8 races here, 2 wins, 3 seconds and a third. George Handy. What a great guy, over 90 years old, still looks better than I do every single day, and he trains number 2 Storm Warning.
Well, here's the thing about this race. If you want to single Capital City and try to beat Ronnie's best bet of the day, that's fine. If you don't want to single Capital City, then I suggest you add Storm Warnings and then single Ronnie's best bet of the day, because still you would only be 2 deep in this race, which would allow you some coverage in some of the other races.
Well, let's go to race number 8, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden special weight fillies, 2-year-olds. Scratch Defy, Stormy Bay, jockey on the 7 is Paco Lopez. Also scratch 11, 12, 13, 14, and number 15. Want to go back and show you the performance of number 8. That's Fired Up. A Sensation. Was at Belmont. It was on September 24th. It was the 7 horse that day. And when we show this video, you're going to see he's just buried by horses as they turn for home in this race. And he's looking for a place to go, looking for some run, and he doesn't get it until right at the very end. And if you could pop that video up now, it would be very nice. And we can show you what I'm talking about from Belmont Park.
I think we can win.
There,
there we
comes.
go.
There it comes. You'll see him. He's in the middle there, and you'll just see he's boxed around, Fired Up Sensation as he turns for home. Just looking for a place to go all the way around the track and just, looking for room here. Look at the horse comes out on him. Horses are coming in, and he finally gets to make a move here. You'll see him come between horses, and he finally gets a clear path here, and he closes pretty stoutly, I thought. It wasn't a bad performance at all. And, of course, it's Christoph Come on. He's still coming, and I just thought he had enough trouble in there. In that race, we already produced a couple of next out winners, so it's a key race. And here's the key. Clement is going to wear air blinkers on his daughter of Sensational. So there's lots of things to like. Had a legitimate excuse last time. Comes out of a key race, getting blinkers this afternoon. What, do you got to get hit in the head with a rock?
I knew that line was coming. We actually planned that before the show started. I did not use Fired Up Sensation, but I also didn't see that backtrack until just now. I figured this horse would take money, and I figured that he'd probably be the favorite in here. I think there's some depth to this race, though. I mean, Fired Up Sensation, certainly the horse to beat in here, but what about the 9 horse Thanks to Life? Debuts for a trainer that's been winning races in bunches. She's a daughter of Tappet, so she's bred to be pretty good, needless to say, being that he's one of the most prolific sires in North America.
If you look at George Navarro's statistics with first-time starters, it's not his game. He's actually 1 for 5 with 2-year-old first-time starters on the turf, so it sort of gave me some mixed signals in there. I went with a proven commodity on the turf. I'm talking trainer-wise with Christophe Clement. Then the other horse that we both use on a ticket, Sweet Daughter, beautifully bred, $285,000 daughter of Blame, makes a career debut for trainer Todd Pletcher. 12 morning workout showing. Pletcher is 14 for 99. That's 14% with 2-year-old first-time starters on the turf. Eddie Castro in the saddle. There's some nice horses in there, but I had to take a stand like you did in the last race, so I'm taking my stand with Fired Up Sensation.
I'm very happy. You just completely destroyed my top pick, so turnabout is fair play. I like that. What about the 1, Triquita, draws the inside gate, but gets Jersey Joe Bravo in the irons? How do you judge Todd Pletcher's riding allegiances right now? I'm being serious. Bravo hasn't been riding much, but I would have to imagine that he would be the go-to rider, or is Castro now the go-to rider?
Well, they started, Castro was here before Joe. Joe just got here over the last weekend, so maybe that's just as simple as that,
Well, I think you have to use both Pletchers if you're using any Pletchers, which means if you're using Ronnie and a Pletcher, you have to be at least 3 deep here.
Well, anybody else in this race before we flip the page?
Well, what's the difference? If I do say something, you'll probably just tell me that the 8 can't lose, and we'll have to flip the page anyway.
Well, got to take a stand somewhere. Let's go to race number 9. 7 furlongs, maiden special weight, 2-year-olds, and we got a full field of 8 runners in here. It's a really nice race. We both have the 8 Cowboys Hero. Paco. It's a $550,000 son of Cowboy Cal, half brother to $1.4 million earner. Opportunity, did a lot of running on the turf, debuting for Giuseppe Aisadernia. Talking about stats, he's 1 for 7, 14% with 2-year-old first-time starters. Paco Lopez, Lasix.
I have nothing to add. That's the ultimate segue there. How about we talk about the 2 Texas T? We agree in this race, Ronnie. The 8 and the 2 seem to be the 2 horses. The good news is they're probably going to be the 2 favorites. The bad news is that they're both first-time starters, so we really don't know. But they're both bred to be good. They're both working to be good. And jockey Edgard Zayas now throws another wrench in the Todd Pletcher jockey ranks as he'll get the call on Texas T. He's been winning races for Todd as well. So this horse has been working very well at Palm Beach Downs.
Well, just a note on Pletcher, 20 for 89, 22% with 2-year-old first-time starters on the main track, and that's update statistics. Lasix, as you mentioned, the jockey in here. I closed it out, Pete, with Blind Ruckus, number 5, showed marked improvement with first-time Lasix when he returned from about a 3-month layoff to finish second here. He was 32-1 that day at the same level distance. He's a half-brother to a stakes-placed horse called Staving Time, has Rodney Sulin in his saddle.
Yeah, the 2 horses to me with the best form that have raced already are the 5 Blind Ruckus and the 6 Giant Inca. Giant Inca has a big chance to be a nice horse. He actually is aptly named. He's a big boy, and he ran very well 2 starts ago. Did not run all that well last time, but the winner Sumter somewhat freaked. He won easily. The turn back in distance is a little bit of a concern, but if you're looking for a horse that has a proven resume over some of the highly regarded first-timers, I think the 5 and 6 are the way to go.
Well, you want to go to race number 10 now? And this one is 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, 3-year-olds. He's very fragile. I don't want to upset him because I keep messing with his picks, according to him. 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers 3 and up, $10,000. Scratch the 1, the 9, which was my long shot today. That one's out, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I want to go back and show you the performance of a horse who's back on October 22nd, Pete. And it was Little Baker. He's got his claiming tag sliced in half today. He returned from the layoff to finish third here. He was only beaten 1 1/4 lengths. I thought it was a pretty nice performance. $20,000 level, $10,000 today.
Well, thanks a lot for setting me up. Little Baker is my top play in the race. He should be better today than he was last time out, and he was pretty good last time out. Longshot Moonwalker, who is actually stakes placed on this course. He's on the lead. Here's It's Time to Laugh, who had won 2 in a row and gets up to make it 3 in a row. Little Baker just out-kicked in the late stages. There was nothing wrong with that race. And for me, Ronnie, there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of speed in here.
Yeah, and this one, you had to study a little bit, and I just think the drop in competition, just wanted to go back and show you that performance. The other horse I used in here was the 7, Dr. J. Dub, stepping up versus open competition today after keeping his record on this course unblemished, 2 for 2 when he led throughout against the Starker Closers bias that day. He defeated $10,000 condition claimers last out. Carlo Valcareza winning races here all the time. He's over 30% now. He's having a really good meet. Tyler Gaffleone going for 3 in a row.
Let's do a little handicapping on the fly here for the fans. The 1, Put Back to Halo, has to have the leader, has no chance. The 2, Bellamy Brew, has to have the leader, has no chance. The 3, Starship Zulu, has to have the lead or no chance. The 5, Prague's probably not fast enough to get the lead, but he's only 1 on the lead. 6, Pirates Vow can rate a little bit, but all his success has been on the lead. You understanding what's happening here? Dr. J-Dub has done his best running on or near the lead. The only closers in this race are the 4, Little Baker, and the 9, who is a big long shot in JC50.
He's scratched.
Okay, well then that means what?
And the 1 is scratched.
Well, okay, that's great.
That was one of the speeds.
That was one of the speeds. The point is, Little Baker's the only off-the-pace runner in this race. So for me, he is the top play in here. If you're looking for the speed of the speed, I don't know if I can help you, but Starship Zulu is a horse that is awfully very, very good when he's sprinting on turf. He was not very good last time, but that was on the dirt.
Well, that is how we see Sunday's action here at Gulfstream Park West. It is the Fall Turf Festival, and you're a little spiky today. You were a little upset that I was maybe...
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. Controversy creates cash, so let's make some cash today.
Good luck, everybody.